Hello friends, welcome back. This is Amit from Magnet, and today we are going to create this 3D matte painting by using Element 3D. So first take a look what we are going to create. So if you are new to this channel, I recommend you to check my YouTube channel and you will find so many videos related to Element 3D and so many free model pack for Element 3D. And if you like those videos, please do subscribe this channel and turn the notification on. And here is the name for those people who has already joined me as a member. So if you really want to support me, you can also join me as a member. So let's get started. In order to create this, we need a stock footage. So in this case, I'm using this stock footage. And then we activate this tracker option here. And when you activate this, you will find the tracker option in the right side corner here. So here is the tracking option here. So first we select our footage here and then just click on this track camera. So our scene has been tracked successfully. Now we create a 3D camera by using this track marker. So select any three of this track marker here and then right click and just click on this create solid and camera. So in this way we can create a 3D camera with a solid which also represent this place. And now we're going to normalize the tracking data. So in order to normalize the tracking data, we use a third-party plugin which is called the Orient World. And I'm also give this plugin in the description below, so you will get this from there. So in order to install the Orient World, you just go to your C drive or where you install your After Effects. In this case, I'm installing my After Effects into C drive, which is my SSD. So just find your After Effects folder and then go to the support file, and here you find the script folder here. Just double click on this and then you find this script UI panels. Just double click on this and just paste the file here just like this. You first go to the Windows and then you will find this Orient World. Just check this plugin here or script here and you will find this window here. So this is how you install this Orient World. And the use of Orient World is very easy. You just select your solid here which you create by using those tracking marker and then just click on this apply and it's done. Okay, so in order to put the 3D object into our scene, we use the element 3D. So in order to apply the element 3D, first we create a solid and name this as element and then we hit OK. Now come over this effect and presets. So here is the element, just double click on this. For now we disable our solid layer here, so just disable this eye switch and go to the element layer, click on this scene setup. So I am using the Arc model 165 broken buildings here, and you can also get the model in the description below, so just download the model from there. And to create the scene I am applying this building here. Okay, then we go over here and click on this optimize mesh and then we create a simple setup here. So just rotate this like this and then we duplicate this. By duplicating this you can create a distance field or field of broken buildings here. So how you can duplicate this, just press and hold the alt key and then drag any of axis, you can duplicate the object here. And then we decrease the scale, and if you select this middle yellow box here, you can just drag your mouse and you will decrease the size from any axis just like this. Okay, and then duplicate it, and you can use other buildings from here. So just click on this and place it here. Maybe we rotate this just like this. And this is not a mandatory that you do the same, you can create your own design. maybe create some distant building fields here. Okay, so this is how you can create a field of broken buildings here, but we do not have the shadow catcher right now, so we also build the shadow catcher for our 3D object. So for this I'm creating a plane here and bring this plane out from this group and place it in the group number 2. Okay, and then we increase the scale just like this. Okay, and then we click on this OK switch here. So make sure that the plane fill the entire world here. So it is placed in the group number 2. So we go to the group number 2 and go to the particle look and go to the particle size and increase it. Okay, so in this way it will fill entire scene here. Okay, and I think our buildings are little too small, so our building is placed in the group number 1. So go to the group number 1, create a group null here and select this group null and press S to bring the scale and increase the scale. Okay, and you can put other buildings to fill up your entire scene, but for this demonstration I'm using this one to create a little bit fast render here. Okay, but you will get the idea. So now we have to disable the visibility of this plane here. So in order to do this, we go to the element scene setup here, and then we apply a material which is called the matte shadow material. So this is the default material which comes with this element plugin. So you can find this material which is the matte shadow inside this physical bracket 22 folder here. So just click and drag and drop to this solid, this plane here, and then just we hit OK, and you can see that the buildings are stick on this footage very nicely. So this look nice for now, and maybe we can put other buildings to create a nice view here. So go to the scene setup. Okay, so now we going to duplicate some buildings to populate our scene. So just duplicate it and maybe we scale it up just like this, and then again duplicate. Just like this. Okay, so this look nice. And now again we also put some broken vehicles model here, so which is also from this model pack, which is the arc model. So just click just like this. Okay, and then we hit OK. Wow, you can see that it creates a nice result here, but you can probably see that some buildings are out from this frame because it has the letterboxing here. So in order to fix this, we create a black solid and disable it for now, and select this rectangle mask tool and create a mask. So now we going to subtract the mask just like this and enable this and place it on the top of the every layer here. So now you can see that it fixes the issue. Okay, so now we create some ground rubbles here. So go to the scene setup again, and now we put some rubbles in the scene. So for this I'm using this rubbles, and I'm not putting this rubbles in the same folder here, so I drag it out from this group and placed it in the group number 3. Okay, and do the same thing, which is the optimize mesh as well as the normalize size. Okay, and also use another one, so which is the number 53 here, and also placed it in the group number 3. Do the same, which is the normalize size and optimize mesh, and put one last, which is the maybe this one. Do the same. First we put it in the group number 3, optimize mesh and the normalize size. Okay, so we use 3 types of rubbles here, and all those placed in the group number 3. So we just hit on this OK switch here, and then we go to the group number 3. And then we go to the particle replicator and change the replicator shape to 3D grid. And we're not using the Y grid replication, so just make it 0. Okay, and then we increase the shape. So you can see that it will create a grid of Rubbles here. And then we increase the Rubble count. Not that much. I mean, this is crazy number. So make it a little bit manageable and also look nice. And then we go to the replicator effect here, go to the scatter, and we just scatter the X scattering as well as the Z scattering here. Okay, and then also you go to the particle look and increase the particle size and increase also the particle size randomness. Okay, and maybe we decrease the scale shape. Okay, and now you can see that the rubble color is little too dark in compared to the surface. So we just go to the scene setup to change the material settings. So just select the materials of the rubble and go to the diffuse and just increase the brightness, just like this, and do the same for the every. So select this, go to the diffuse and increase the brightness, same, and also do the same for this last one as well. So hit OK, and it will little bit manageable here right now. And then also we placed it here. So now we put a light on our scene. So go to the layer, create a new light. So using a parallel light here and change the color to white and increase the intensity. You can see that there is no hard light in our actual footage. So we just put a light with a very less intensity. So hit OK. And then we place it in the right side, just like this. Okay, and in order to create the same lighting as the environment here, we can create a Hdri map by using this footage here. So in order to do this, we just solo our footage here, and then we make a screenshot of the scene here. So in order to do this, we go to the composition, create a save frame as and file, and then we change the format to maybe JPEG sequence and hit OK. And then we save it in a specific folder here and just render the image, and we're going to use this image as a Hdri map for our scene. So first we bring this image to our composition here and disable this, and then we go to our element layer, and then we go to the custom layers, go to the custom texture map and select the image here. And then we go to the scene setup and we go to the environment here and click on this drop down arrow and just select this. Okay, and in this way you can create a same lighting as our footage is. And then we hit OK, and you can see that it will create a little bit of global illumination type thing here, and it also match the scene lighting. Okay, and this is our parallel light, and you can see that it creates a little bit of very intense highlight here, and which is not right for this kind of environment here. So we just decrease the intensity of our light. Okay, now we go to our element layer, and now we go to the render setting and do some rendering effect here. So first we do the ambient occlusion. So we just turn on the ambient occlusion here, and we're going to use the ray trace ambient occlusion. So if your system is not good enough like me, we first change the resolution to half to minimize the probability of the crashing, and also change the ambient occlusion mode to ray traced. You can see that it creates a very intense amount of ambient occlusion here. So in order to change this, we decrease the intensity, and you can see that some of the rubbles are floating from the ground. So first we go to the group number 3 and we create a group null object here. So create a group null object, and then we press P and just dip it down like this. Wow, you can see that it really creates a nice result here. So if we go to the full resolution here, you can see that it creates a nice result. Okay, and it blends very nicely, but we still think that our ambient occlusion is little too dark. So we go to the element layer again, go to the rendering setting and decrease the intensity of ambient occlusion, and also we increase the light influence. Okay, so our scene is not having any fog, so we don't need to enable the fog, but if you want, you can enable this, change the fog color to grayish type, and enable this, and then we decrease the opacity, and also increase the start distance. Okay, so change this to half resolution. I think our Rubbles is little too less, so we can increase the count and also increase the Z axis count here. And the matte shadow plane, which is present in the group number 2, we need to change the position as well. So go to the particle replicator, go to the position, and we just dip it down a little bit, because you can see that some of the Rubbles are look like they are floating from the ground. So just dip it down here little bit, not much. Okay, so it will fix the issue here. Okay, so this look amazing. And now we're going to create the reflection on the river here. Once you satisfied with your element layer design, then we can proceed to the reflection part. So in order to do the reflection part, we duplicate our element layer. Okay, and go to the bottom layer here, go to the scene setup, and then we going to create a reflection map here. So for this, in order to do the reflection, first we change the material on the plane here. So right now our plane has the matte shadow material here. So we go to our plane model here, and we use some chrome kind of material which can create a nice reflection to our scene. So just select this chrome material which is present in the physical folder here, and just apply it just like this. Okay, and then you go to the group number 1 folder here, and you can see that all buildings are visible to the camera, but we don't want our building to visible in this element layer, but we want only the reflection just visible. So in order to do this, we go to our every object here. So this will be a very time consuming work, because we go to the every material here and we change some settings. So it will be a little hassle, but it will create a nice result in the end. So we have to do this. So you select every material here and go to the settings here, and there is an option called the visible to camera. We just disable this. Okay, and do the same for the every material here. So we complete all the material settings change here, and then we go to our this Rubbles material as well. So do the same here. Okay, and then we go to our plane layer here, and we go to the reflection settings here and change this to mirror surface. Okay, so now we hit OK here. So now you can see that it renders the reflections only. So but you can also see that it also reflects the environment. So we don't want the environment to be reflect here. So we again go to the scene setup and go to the environment here and just clear this. Okay, so we just want to reflect the buildings only, and then hit OK, and you can see that it only reflects the buildings here. So now if we unsolo this, you can see that the buildings and the reflections, but we lose our actual footage here. So in order to regain this, we just disable this for now, and we create a solid here which will be a mask for the rivers only. So we create a black solid here, and then we change this solid as a 3D solid layer, and we also press the AA and off this the accept light switch here. So turn this off, and then we rotate this, press R to bring the rotation value and change the X rotation to 90 degree. Okay, and then we select this and change the position here by dragging this axis here, and also we increase the scale to fill the river here, and then we disable this and we make a mask. So we select this mask tool here and we create a simple mask here. So you can disable the element layer to create a clear view here, and select our black solid here and make a rough mask here. Okay, and do the same for this part as well. Make sure that you go to the very end frame here, because in this way you will have the idea that how big your river is. Okay, so this is done. So we complete the mask here, and now we disable this eye switch here and turn on our element layer. So here is the element layer and here is the reflection layer, but you can see that everything goes dark here, but we have our matte now. So we toggle the switch and change the track matte to alpha matte. So in this way it only follow those rivers area, but you can see that it goes dark. So we change the blending mode of this reflection element layer. So change this to normal from to multiply. Okay, but nothing is working because our element reflection layer environment set to the black. So we change the environment as well. So select this element layer and go to the scene setup, and now I'm using my own Hdri map for element 3D for the skies. So we go to the environment, and here is the magnet Hdri pack, and if you don't have this Hdri pack, I give the link in the description below, so you will get this from there, and you can choose any sky layer from here. So maybe let's see, so maybe this one look nice, it have some clouds and it look nice, and then you hit OK. Okay, so you can see that the skies also reflect on the river here, but the reflection is too dark, so we need to change something. So we decrease the opacity of this layer. So we decrease the opacity just like this. Okay, and you will get a nice reflection here. Okay, but one thing that if you see closely to the edge here, you can see the hard line here. So we have to fix this as well. So how we do this? So we select our mask solid here, and for now we disable the visibility here. Then we go over the effect and presets and search for the roughen edges, and just apply this effect here, and then we go over the scale switch here and we decrease the scale. Okay, and we decrease the edge sharpness here. So just decrease this, make a little bit of feathery look here. Okay, and just tweak the settings of the scale. So now if we disable the visibility, you can see that very soft edge here. Okay, and this creates a nice result to the reflection. Okay, so now if you want to move your entire element world, you have to move the reflection layer as well. Without this, if you move this element layer, so if you go to the world setting, that is the world transform, if you move anything from here, if you move this, you can see that the reflection is not moving with this. So we have to make a process so we can move this together. So one thing you have to do that first, we create a world transform null object here. So this is our main element layer null object. So we rename this main element. Okay. And then we go over this our reflection element layer and go to the world transform here and create another null object here. And this will be our reflection layer. Okay. So first we place our main element layer over every layers, and then we select the reflection and just link with this main element layer. Okay. And now if you change the position like this, you can see that the reflection also move with the main element layer. Okay. So this will be very handy if you change some position of your world. So you can do this very easily. Okay. And you don't have to worry about changing the reflection layer as well. So this is a simple trick. Okay. So our element layer work is little bit done here. So now we do some fog as well as the smoke layer, and I will use some stock for element which is from the video copilot from Action Essential, and I'm using this fire element from Action Essential, and you can use anything you want, but I have this, so I am using this one. And I'm also use trapcode particular to create some more smoke and the fog element here. So first we place this big fire element here and there, so create a nice post-apocalyptic scene. So we just bring it to our composition here. So before we turn this layer into 3D, we need to change the anchor point. So we select this pen behind tool here and drag this anchor point at the bottom of the fire. Okay. And then we make this layer as 3D, but you can see that it goes dark. So we have to do that. We press A and change this setting, that is the except light, and turn this off. Okay. And now we place this anywhere you want, maybe here. So in order to place this into the same place here, we create a null object which can represent the position value of this place. So in order to do this, we go to the utilities of the element layer. So go to the utility of element layer and select this 2D position and click here and just click on generate. And in this way you will create a null object. So just copy this position value, just Control C to copy this value, or you can go to the edit and copy this. Here's a copy, and then go to this fire, press P to bring the position and just paste the value. Okay. And maybe we can scale it up a little bit or maybe down to match the scene. And we don't need this element layer, the position null objects anymore, so we just delete this. But you can see that it not intersect the element layer. So every time you use any stock element, you have to make a mat for this stock element. So for this I'm going to duplicate our main element layer. Just duplicate this, and then we bring it top of this fire element, or maybe we can place this underneath this black solid, because the black solid have this letterboxing. So we don't want anything that go past the area. So we place it here. Then we select our element layer and then go to the output. And then we change the show to composite to world position. Okay. And then we change the position and make sure that we hit this surface here. Okay. And then we select our fire element and toggle this switch and change the track matte to Luma matte inverted. It means Luma means the white portion and we want our fire element to be visible on this area, not this. So we make this Luma mat inverted. Okay, so you can see that our fire element is intersect. Okay, so you can place other fire element here and there. So maybe we duplicate both of this layer, just Ctrl D to duplicate this, and select this fire element, and maybe we place it here also, here, and maybe we change offset that time, so make it little different here, and also increase the scale to make a little bit more. Okay, so or maybe you can place it here maybe, and also we go to the element layer, go to the wall position and change the position just like this. Okay, so now we missing the lighting because we have the fire, so we probably have some warm light here. So in order to do the lighting, we create a point light. So we layer create a light, and it will be our point light, and change the color to something called warm type color here, and hit OK. Decrease the intensity and hit OK. Okay, and you can see that our entire world is turned to orange color here. So we'll fix it. Now we select this big fireball, and this press P to bring the position value, and just copy the value, and then go to this light, press P and paste the value here. Okay, so in this way you can create a warm light in this place. And then we go to the element layer again, and then we go to the render setting, go to the lighting, and increase the light fall of value. Okay, not much, little bit. So now we're going to turn on the shadow. But you can see that if you use point light, then your shadow map shadow is not working. So we need to change this to ray trace. So in order to enable this, we just click on here, and then we change this to ray trace. Okay, so now you can see that some of the rubbles are placed a little top of the scene. So one thing you have to do, that we go to the group number 3 here, and you can see that you probably know that we create a null object for the group number 3. So press P and change the position, make it little bit down. Okay, so but you can see that our point light is creating shadow. So we go to the point light and place it little top here, and also place it here, and then select the point light and go to the light setting here and decrease the shadow darkness. Okay, maybe little bit, not much, maybe 4 is looking right, and then we hit OK. Okay, but you can see that it creates a hard shadow because we have our parallel light as well. So but you can see that the scene is not scene lighting is not so intense that can create that much of hard shadow here. So we go to our parallel light, go to the parallel light setting as well, and also decrease the shadow darkness from here. Okay, and then we hit OK. So this look something nice, but I think the light intensity of the point light is little too high. So select the point light here and go to the point light and press T to bring the intensity and decrease the value. Okay, so now we duplicate our point light again and place it here. Okay, so this look amazing. Now we create a solid for our particular layer. So name this as smoke, and then we change the color to black and hit OK, and then place it here or maybe here. Okay, and then we go over this effect and preset and search for particular, and here is the trap code particular, and just double click on this. So here is the particular plugin, and now we create a custom particle by using a image. So I am using this smoke image, and I am using this smoke image as a my custom particle. So first we drag this smoke image. Into a new composition here, and then we create a solid, because you can see that it is not transparent, but we need a transparent smoke image. So we create this transparent by using a white solid here. Okay, and then we bring this solid at the bottom, and then we change the track matte to Luma matte, and in this way it will be transparent. And we go back to our main composition here, and we just bring this large smoke to our main composition. Okay, and disable this eye switch for now, and go back to our smoke element layer, which will be our particular layer. Now we change the particles to the custom image particle. So we go to the particle and change the particle type to sprite, and then we go to the sprite control and change this to large smoke, and ignore this warning. Okay, so now we have our particles here. Then we go to the emitter and change this emitter type to point to box. Okay, and then you can see that the emitter size, it check this XYZ linked, but we make this individual, so we can control all the emitter size individually. Now we increase the the X emitter size here, increase this, and you can see that the particle size is little too small. So we go back to the particle size settings here and increase the size. Okay, and you can see that there are so many particles, so we need to change this particle emitter behavior, but we don't want this to be continuously generate new particles, so we change this to explode. And you can see that there is no particles because our particle life is set to only 3 seconds. So we need to change this to maybe 20 seconds. Okay, you can see that the particles here, and we probably increase the particle per second count. Okay, but you can see that the particles are moving is because it have some velocity value here. So we change this to 0 and change all these things to 0 here. Okay, so now you can see that the particle is not moving, but at the initial there is no particle, because at the beginning there is no particle generated. But when we forwarded 1 frame or so, you can see all the particles. So in order to fix this, we just drag this particle layer in the inward side, and then we drag and fill the entire composition timeline here. Okay, so you can see that all the particles stays at the same place. Now we go back to our particle layer again, and then we increase the particle size like this, and also increase the particle size randomness. Then we go over this opacity. We decrease the opacity of these particles, and also we increase the particle opacity randomness to 100%. Okay, and now we go back our emitter size. We increase the Y emitter as well as the Z emitter, just like this. Okay, so we creating a smoke field here. Now we unsolo this smoke element, and we place this smoke to this place. So we maybe create a null object to identify the place, but we have the point light, so we can use this point light position value to place our particle layer. So we copy the point light position. So just copy the value and go to the smoke layer. And in order to place this smoke layer into that position, you can individually copy and paste all the values, but we have a technique here which is called the creating a null object for this. So we create a null object, and here is the null object. Now it can control all the position behavior of the particles. Okay, we just press P to bring the position value of this null object and just paste the value here. Okay, now you can see that the smoke is placed in this place, but you can see that our smoke is very transparent, so we need to change the opacity. So we go to the particle properties here, and then we go to the opacity and we increase the opacity of the particles. So maybe our reflection layer making this render too little heavy, so we disable our reflection layer for now. Okay, but you can see that it overlaps the element layer. So same thing we have to do, that we duplicate our element layer and then we place it on top of the smoke layer here, and then we go to the element layer properties, go to the output and change this to world position, and then we change the position just like this, and go back to our smoke layer and change the track matte to Luma matte inverted, and you can see that it creates a nice result, but there is a harsh edge here, so we need to fix this as well. So go to the element layer and then we increase the featherness. Okay, and also decrease this. Okay, increase the featherness just like this, and you can see that it creates a nice smoke here. Okay, and now you can see that there's some black background there. It because our main footage have some black background there. So in order to fix this, we go to our background footage here and duplicate this, and then we make a rectangle mask here just like this, and then we go to the effect, color correction, and go to the tint effect here, and we change this black color to something like grayish color. Okay, and then we decrease the tint amount, and also we select the mask here and press F to bring the feather option here and just feather the mask. Okay, so now you can see the result. Okay, so you can also duplicate the smoke element in multiple times to create another level of volumetric fog here, but I'm not doing this right now. But you can have the idea that how you can create this. More of the layer will create a more dynamic result. But we again select our smoke layer, and you can see that it is little too bright. So we also change the smoke color. So we again apply the tint effect on the smoke element layer, smoke layer here, and then we change this black color to maybe something grayish color, and also we copy this to the white portion here, and we decrease the tint amount to make it little grayish smoke. Okay, so this is the trick for the volumetric smoke. Okay, so now we create some smoke trails. For this we going to create a new solid for the particle layer and make it black and name this as particular, the smoke trails, smoke, and press 2, and then we hit OK and place it here, and then we apply the particle effect on this as well, and then we solo this particle. Okay, and now we go to the particle type to change this to sprite, and do the same thing. Go to the sprite control, change this to large smoke, disable all the warnings here, and then you go to the environment here and decrease the gravity so it can bring those particles at the upward direction here, and you can see that if you okay, and also we increase the y wind value here. I mean decrease the y wind value here. Okay, and then we go to the particle size and increase the size, and also we decrease the particle per second count. So go to the emitter and decrease the value to maybe 20. Okay, and you can see that it not look right because it not fill the entire area. So we select our smoke 2 layer and change the offset this time here and drag this to the very end. Okay, and also we increase the particle lifespan to maybe 20 seconds. Okay, and then you can see that it creates a trails of smoke here. And also we go to the particle size here and increase the particle size, and maybe we do the custom particle size, enter the life of the particle. So go to the size over life and make a little room here and make select a preset here, and we flip the preset here. Okay, because at the beginning there is a less particle size, and when it goes upward the size of the particle will expand, but we make it little exponential type. So we change the graph like this. Okay, and also we have changed the particle life span to 20 seconds, but we change this to maybe 10 seconds. Okay, and you can see that it creates a nice result here, and we increase the particle size a little bit more, and then we go over this opacity value, we decrease the opacity of the particles, and then we go to the opacity over life and we select this preset here. Okay, so it will create a nice smoke trails here, and now we're going to place this smoke trail in somewhere in the scene. So we unsolo this smoke layer again, and maybe we place our smoke to maybe this side. So again we make a null object to identify this position. So we go to our element layer, which is the main element layer here, and then we go to the utilities and create a null object here. Okay, and then to place our smoke trails into this position, we go to our smoke 2 layer and create a null object. This is the smoke null object, and press P, and then again we select our element null object that we just create, press P, and then copy the value and paste it here. Okay, and then we delete this element null object here. Okay, but you can see that there is some smoke tails placed in here, but it is totally go to the upward, so we have to change the wind settings as well. So we go to the wind settings here, and also we increase the X wind value. Okay, so if we are not seeing this, so if we unsolo this, I mean the solo this, you can see that if we increase the X wind value, you can see that the smoke is going from the left side to the right side and the upward direction. Okay, so make a little bit variation to the smoke. We go to the smoke rotation, go to the smoke rotation here and go to the random rotation and change this to very little, to maybe 2. Okay, or maybe a little bit more. Okay, so now I will create a nice smoke trails here. So we can change the particle color. So we go to the effect and select the tint effect here, and we change this white color to grayish like color here. Okay, and you can see that there is the smoke and the color is gray, and we also increase the particle per second count to maybe 30. Okay, so So now we can again make a element layer to make a track matte to this smoke layer. So for this, again we duplicate our main element layer here, just duplicate this, and again place on the top of this smoke layer, select the element layer, and then go to the output, change this to world position, and we again place the position here. Okay, and then we go to our smoke 2 layer and change this to Luma matte inverted. Okay, so pretty much same thing every time. So this is the idea that how you can create this volumetric fog and the volumetric smoke trails here. And also you can see that we create the reflection element layer here, so you will get some cool reflection. So this is a total trick here. So now we do some color correction to our entire scene. Okay, so it look very amazing. You can put another smoke trail here and there to create a nice result to your scene, but I'm not going to do this because it already a big tutorial, but you can get the idea. So now we press Ctrl Shift and H to hide all the guide layers here to make a clean preview here, and then we create a adjustment layer for the color correction. So first we go to the effect, color correction, and tint effect here, and then again we go to the color correction and choose the curve effect. We decrease the tint amount here, okay, and make a little dark kind of color here. Decrease the contrast and go to the red. We decrease the red amount and go to the blue channel here. We crank it up and we turn up the blue color little bit up, and then we create another adjustment layer. And in this adjustment layer I am using some film effect from the red giant magic bullet, and then we decrease the strength. Okay, so you can see that it really creates a nice result. But one thing I have to say, that you can see that my preview video that I made for this entire video, you can see that there it look more amazing from this, because I put so much effort to build the scene. But I gave you the idea that how you can create this, and you can probably work a little bit more to your scene to make it more interesting looking. And then we create another adjustment layer, go to the effect, and I'm using the magic bullet look effect on this. Then you go to the edit option here. So let's choose something looking nice. So maybe this one look nice. Just select this and hit OK. And then we bring this black, that is the letterbox layer, at the top of every layers. Okay, so now you can see that it creates a nice result. But you can see that our fire element is little too dull, so we need to change the fire element color correction. So we go to the fire layer here, and we go to the effect and go to the color correction, go to the curve effect, and boost the light here. Okay, we'll probably changing this one. Okay, and then we select this layer and go to the effect, go to the magic RGVFX and change the optical glow. Okay, and then we go to the alpha channel, change this extend unmelt. Okay, and then we increase the glow amount here, and also the size of the glow, and then we only select this highlights only. Okay, and then we change the color to maybe something like orange type of color here. Okay, and increase the size. Okay, and you can see that there a line, so we have to fix this. So we select our big fire layer and select this rectangle mask tool here, expand this mask and decrease the expansion and increase the feather. Okay, so you can see that our fire look more prominent. So now we select all this effect. all this effect and just copy this and paste it to this fire. Okay, and do the same masking here. So select this rectangle mask, expand this and decrease the expansion and increase the feather. Okay, and if you think that it is too bright, so we can decrease the glow amount here. Okay, so this look amazing. So this is all about the scene. So I hope you get all the ideas that how I create this entire scene and how I create this nice looking reflection, and also create those volumetric smoke and the smoke trails and put those fire in the different section of the world. So I hope you really enjoyed this tutorial, and this is for the today. And I hope you create something like this, and if you create something like this, please share with me. And if you like this video, I recommend you to check my other videos, and if you like those videos, please do subscribe this channel and turn the notification on. So this is for today, and we will see in my next video. So till then, take care and bye bye.